buckle up, because today we're diving into a future, like, way different man.
Okay.
Run by algorithms, where getting a loan, landing a job, even finding, like, a date might be decided by, like, AI.
Right.
And the thing is, this isn't like some far-off sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah.
This is the world historian Yuval Noah Harari.
Right.
Paints as, like, shockingly close in his interview on the Diary of a CEO YouTube channel.
I've seen that one. It's a good one.
Yeah, get ready for some serious aha moments as we unpack Harari's insights on AI, social media, and how surprisingly fragile our everyday realities really are.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point to start with.
Yeah.
Because what's so fascinating about Harari's work is that he doesn't just lay out, like, the facts.
Yeah.
He connects them.
Right.
In a way that makes you question, like, everything you thought you knew.
Yeah.
Like, take his idea that AI isn't artificial intelligence, but rather something alien to us.
Okay, alien intelligence.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
Give us the breakdown. What does he mean by that, and what does it mean for, like, us?
Well, he points to AlphaGo.
Okay.
The AI that mastered this super complex game of Go. It's a game humans have been playing for like 2,500 years.
Wow. Okay.
2,500 years. Think about this. Centuries of strategy,
philosophy,
even like art built around this game.
Right.
And AlphaGo comes along.
Okay.
And in a matter of days,
wow.
figures out completely new ways to play that no human had ever even considered.
So it's not just that AI is, like, faster or more efficient. It's like it's thinking on a whole other level. Level we might not even be able to grasp.
Exactly.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah. And this alien intelligence, as Harari calls it, it isn't confined to, like, games.
He argues it's already, like, seeping into finance, medicine, even religion.
Wow.
Areas where we've always relied on human intuition and expertise.
Yeah.
What happens when AI can process information and make decisions at a scale and speed we can't even comprehend?
Yeah. It's like we're playing checkers.
Totally.
And AI is playing some, like, multi-dimensional chess we didn't even know existed.
Yeah. Okay, so how does this tie into his idea of the Silicon Curtain?
Yeah.
I have to admit, that one really got me thinking.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So imagine this, the Iron Curtain.
Okay.
Divided nations. With physical borders.
Right. Yeah.
Harari argues that the Silicon Curtain, as he calls it, is doing the same thing right now.
Okay.
But instead of, like, concrete and barbed wire, it's built with algorithms and filter bubbles, fragmenting our reality into echo chambers. Where we can't even agree on basic facts.
And this is where it gets really unsettling, because if we're all trapped in our own information bubbles, how can we even begin to address the big challenges facing humanity? Isn't that kind of division exactly what allows misinformation and manipulation to flourish?
100%. It's like democracy's Achilles heel, according to Harari.
Okay.
If democracy depends on a shared understanding of reality, a foundation of common facts that we can, like, debate and deliberate on. What happens when those facts themselves become fluid, manipulated by algorithms, designed to keep us hooked, not informed?
And it's not just the big stuff, He's also talking about how these algorithms shape our sense of self, our relationships, even our understanding of what's real and what's not.
He uses this very chilling phrase.
Okay.
The humans are still more powerful than the AIs.
Okay.
The problem is that we're divided against each other.
Wow.
It's like he's saying that the technology itself isn't the enemy, but our own divisions, our inability to see past the algorithms and connect with each other authentically. That's what makes us vulnerable.
Okay, so that's kind of terrifying, but also strangely empowering. Because if the problem is us, then maybe the solution is in our hands, too.
100%. And that's exactly where Harari goes next.
Okay.
And this is where things get really interesting for you. Imagine needing to go on an information diet.
Okay.
You know, just like We've learned to be more discerning about what we eat.
Right.
We need to be more critical of the information we consume online.
Wait, an information diet.
Yeah.
Sign me up? Yeah. I think we could all use a little less junk food for the brain these days. What does that look like in practice?
It's about recognizing that more information doesn't equal more knowledge or truth.
Right.
It's about being selective.
Okay.
Questioning your sources.
Right.
And being aware of your own biases.
Totally.
Harari argues that a lot of the information out there is actually junk. Artificially designed to trigger our fear.
Right.
Our outrage, our greed.
Yeah.
Just like junk food.
Yeah.
It might feel good in the moment.
Right.
But it's ultimately bad for us.
I love that analogy.
That's a good one.
We wouldn't shovel handfuls of candy into our mouths all day.
Exactly.
So why do we do that with information?
Precisely.
Yeah.
And here's where those algorithms come back into play.
Right.
They're designed to exploit our weaknesses. Those primal cravings for fear, hate, and greed.
Right.
And the more we click, the more we scroll.
Right.
The deeper we go down those rabbit holes of junk information, the more we reinforce those patterns.
Right.
It's a vicious cycle.
So we need to break the cycle.
We do.
But how?
Right.
It's not like we can just unplug from the internet entirely. I mean, it's 2024.
Exactly.
Our lives are online.
You're right. We can't just disconnect entirely.
Yeah.
But we can be more mindful of how and why we're connecting.
Okay.
And critically, we need to recognize that someone is profiting from our outrage, our anxiety, our addiction to information.
You're talking about the tech giants, right?
100%.
The ones who control these algorithms.
Exactly.
The ones who profit from keeping us glued to our screens.
Exactly. And this is where Harari gets really pointed.
Okay.
He argues that these companies need to be held accountable for the actions of their algorithms.
Okay.
Just like any other media company.
Wait, so you're saying Facebook or Google
Yeah.
should be held responsible
Yes.
for the content their algorithms promote,
Yes.
even if they didn't create that content themselves.
That's precisely what Harari is arguing.
Wow.
Just because it's happening online
Right.
in this seemingly intangible digital world
Right.
doesn't mean it's exempt
Right.
from the ethical
Right.
and social responsibilities that have governed traditional media
Right.
for decades.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's a big one.
So it's like we're holding these tech giants to the same standards as, say, a newspaper editor
Totally.
who would absolutely be held responsible for publishing something false or harmful.
Imagine the editor of the New York Times publishing a piece of like fake news on the front page.
Right.
There would be serious consequences.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So why should it be any different
Right.
for algorithms that shape the information diets?
Yeah. Of millions.
Right.
Even billions of people every single day.
It's a really powerful point.
Yeah.
But if we can't always trust these tech giants,
Right.
who can we trust?
Yeah.
It feels like we're living in a world where like
Totally.
anyone can create a deep fake video
Right.
or generate fake news articles with the click of a button.
That's where Harari argues that traditional institutions become even more critical in this new information landscape.
Right.
Think about it. If we can't always trust the technology itself, we need to be able to trust the sources of information, right?
So for you, it's about knowing who to trust.
Yes.
Even when seeing isn't believing anymore.
Exactly. Just like you trust reputable newspapers or news organizations to verify their reporting.
We need to start thinking about who or what is verifying the information we're consuming online.
Yeah.
Is this video I'm watching from a trusted source? What about this article I'm reading?
That actually reminds me of something else Harari talks about. How this AI revolution isn't just about social media or misinformation.
Right.
He says it's poised to disrupt pretty much every industry out there.
Right.
From healthcare to law to even the priesthood.
Totally.
How does that work exactly?
Yeah.
I mean, can AI really replace a priest?
Remember how we were talking about AI as this like alien intelligence?
Right.
One of the things that makes it so powerful is its ability to process massive amounts of data and identify patterns that humans might miss.
Right.
So any job that relies heavily on those skills could potentially be impacted.
So doctors, lawyers, even coders.
Right.
They're all dealing with tons of information in one form or another. It's like AI could be coming for their jobs too.
In a way, yes.
Right.
But Harari also sees potential in this disruption.
Okay.
Imagine an AI tutor that can tailor educational content to each student's unique learning style.
Okay, that's cool.
Or think about AI assistants.
Right.
That can help doctors diagnose diseases with greater accuracy, potentially saving lives.
Okay, those examples do sound pretty cool. Yeah. But what happens to the people whose jobs are automated away?
Right.
What are they supposed to do in this brave new world?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Harari stresses the need for adaptability.
Right.
For constantly learning and reinventing ourselves. Because, let's face it, some jobs of the future might not even exist yet.
It's like we're all trying to hit this rapidly moving target.
Exactly.
But Harari also talks about the importance of our uniquely human qualities.
Yes.
Things AI can't replicate.
Right.
At least not yet.
Yeah.
What are those qualities and how can we develop them?
He uses the example of a nurse comforting a child.
Okay.
Think about the skills involved. Empathy, compassion, social intelligence.
Yeah. Even physical dexterity.
Right. These are all things that are much harder to program into a machine.
Right.
At least for now.
So you're saying that in this future filled with AI, it's not just our technical skills that'll matter.
Right.
But also our ability to connect with one another on a human level.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's why he keeps coming back to the importance of human connection.
Okay.
He argues that the biggest threat isn't necessarily some AI takeover, like in the movies, but rather our own inability to bridge the divides between us if we're all isolated in our own little filter bubbles.
Right.
Suspicious of anyone who thinks differently.
Right.
Well, that makes us much easier to manipulate and control.
It's almost like these algorithms are using the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer.
It's a chilling thought.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
He draws a direct parallel between the tactics of imperial powers throughout history and the algorithms that shape our social media feeds today.
Yeah.
Both thrive on division and discord.
So if we know these algorithms are designed to keep us divided and at each other's throats, how do we break free from that cycle? It can feel completely overwhelming sometimes.
Well, Harari suggests a two-pronged approach.
Okay.
First, we need to develop a more critical relationship with information.
Okay.
We need to be aware of the ways these algorithms are designed to manipulate us, to trigger those primal emotions of fear, outrage, and greed.
So more information literacy, more critical thinking skills. Basically, we all need to become better at spotting the BS.
Absolutely. And the second part of the solution.
Okay.
We need more genuine human connection.
Right.
More real-world conversations that challenge our assumptions and expand our perspectives.
Okay. Easier said than done, right?
Right.
Especially when it feels like we're constantly bombarded with information.
Yeah.
When our phones are buzzing with notifications 24/7.
Totally.
How do we even begin to disconnect?
Harari actually practices what he preaches.
Okay.
He takes regular digital detoxes.
Okay.
Going on long meditation retreats.
Okay.
With no phones.
Right.
No internet.
Wow.
No outside information at all.
Wow, that's serious commitment. I don't know if I could handle that. Like, I can barely make it through dinner without checking my phone. But I get your point. It's about being intentional with our time and attention.
Exactly. It's about creating space for reflection, for connecting with ourselves and the world around us without the constant noise and distractions of the digital sphere.
Yeah.
It might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes disconnecting is the best way to reconnect with what truly matters.
It's like hitting the refresh button on our brains, right?
Yeah.
Giving ourselves the mental space to actually process everything that's coming at us.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've been talking a lot about how AI is impacting us.
Yeah.
But what about the other way around?
Yeah.
Harari brings up this really interesting idea about AI.
Potentially developing consciousness.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a question that's been around for centuries.
Right.
What is consciousness?
Yeah.
And how can we tell if something else possesses it?
Right.
And here's the kicker.
Okay.
We don't even fully understand how it arises in the human brain.
It's like, I know I'm conscious, but how can I prove it to you?
Right. Exactly.
Or anyone, for that matter.
We just assume that other people have inner experiences similar to our own.
Totally.
But we can never truly know what's going on in their minds.
Right.
And that goes for AI as well.
So then how would we ever know if an AI was truly conscious?
Yeah.
Or just really good at pretending to be?
Yeah.
Especially if companies are trying to make AI.
Right. Exactly.
So that seems as human-like as possible, you know, for marketing and stuff.
This is where things get
really interesting.
Okay.
Ethically speaking.
Okay.
Harari says,
yeah,
we already do this with some animals.
Okay.
We treat them as conscious beings.
Right.
Like dogs, for example.
Yeah.
Not because we have, like, scientific proof.
Right.
But because of our emotional bonds with them.
Right.
Our social conventions.
So you're saying we might start treating AI like we treat our pets.
Yeah.
Giving them names.
Right.
Developing, like, emotional attachments, even though we don't actually know if they have feelings.
That's a real possibility.
Wow.
And it brings up all sorts of complex questions about our relationship with technology.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line?
Wow. It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is.
So after diving deep into all of this, all these, like, mind-blowing ideas, what's the big takeaway?
Right.
What does Harari ultimately want us to understand?
He ends on a surprisingly hopeful note, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
He says, and I'm paraphrasing here, most humans are fundamentally good.
Okay.
When they make bad decisions, it's often because they've been given bad information.
So it's not about AI being inherently good or bad, but about the information we feed it.
Yes.
The goals we set. The connections we foster.
Right.
Or fail to foster with one another.
Exactly. And he puts it even more powerfully.
Okay.
If something destroys us, it'll be our own delusions.
Right.
Not the AI's. We're the ones with the power.
Right.
For better or for worse.
That's actually a really important reminder.
It is.
The future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we're creating every day. With the choices we make. It's the information we consume.
Right.
The connections we build or break. It's a call to action.
It is.
To be more mindful.
Right.
More discerning, more connected to ourselves and one another.
Right.
The future of humanity hinges on it.
On that note, we'll leave you with that thought to ponder. A huge thanks to historian Yuval Noah Harari for these incredible insights. If you want to dive even deeper into his work, check out his books, starting with Sapiens. Until next time, keep asking the big questions and keep diving deep.